Apart from that unexpected announcement about new music from ABBA, the other big news from Sweden is that Saga Norén, the Malmo cop, is back in BBC Two's The Bridge. As played by Sofia Helin, Saga is the Asperger's-affected investigator in leather strides and a vintage Porsche. She's far more complex and much more interesting than your average TV cop. When I met Sofia, she told me about the new series of The Bridge and Saga's current crisis.
Vill du spela?
Nej.
Du vill ju aldrig spela.
Om du har förstått det, varför fortsätter du fråga?
En av de nya stirrar på dig. Vet du vem det är?
Ja.
Vem är det då?
Lucinda Ardich dömd till livstid 2004 för 3 mord och mordförsök på 2 poliser.
Var det du som satte dit henne?
Nej, det var i Stockholm.
Så varför stirrar hon på dig?
Hon hatar poliser.
Ja. Tur för det att du inte är polis längre.
Saga, my character, is imprisoned for killing her mother. So, and she's not a police officer anymore. A police in prison, that's not a dream.
Not a good thing to be.
No. And also for her, and for as an actor, that's a dream come true. To have a character that you know so much about and put her in a very vulnerable place where the ground is not steady anymore and see what questions comes up.
And
Who am I?
You can see the fear in her eyes all the way through.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's a great performance.
Thank you.
Alla är tvungna att välja en fritidsaktivitet. Träning inkluderar ingen samröre med andra interner.
It's the Scandinavian thing. You have these very successful, apparently well-organised, happy, social democratic societies, and yet you produce this dark, scary dramas which we're all addicted to. What's going on?
I've been thinking about that a lot as well. We have a tradition of telling about dysfunctional families since Bergman and so on, you know. I guess we have at least been very safe up in the north, and we have been well taken care of from society. So I guess we dare to fantasize that much about dark things.
Saga, you're very immobile a lot of the time, but it's an immobility which is about stress and fear and anger. And it seems to me, looking at it, that it must be a lot of physical work for you.
Yeah, it is. I'm happy that you see that. It's like wearing a cement costume during the shootings, and it's like I squeeze my body together and my mind together in concentration. So after when we've stopped shooting, it feels like my body expands a little bit.
And let me ask you about something else which perhaps people in Britain don't quite get. There's a lot of kind of hidden, quite subtle comedy about the Danish versus the Swedish thing going on. And the Danes and the Swedes, you see each other very, very differently. As a Swede, what do you really think of the Danes? Explain the problem.
The problem, I think they are lovely. They know about hygge is like when you're cozying together, having a good time. They're very good at that. But they are a bit, I think, not so... They don't do things in consequence. They say they have good morals, but on the other hand, you can say whatever you want.
And they think you're all a bit too organised and well-drilled and a bit chilly.
Yeah, and a bit politically correct.
And a bit politically correct. Now, you are one of the most famous faces on British television at the moment. You've become very famous, and you've used your fame to support WaterAid as a charity. Now, I guess somebody like you must be approached by lots and lots of causes and charities. Can you explain why you chose WaterAid?
Yeah, good question. I figured I wanted to do something with my fame. I have to do something that is basic. What do we need? What's the first thing we need? Okay, it's water, and here's WaterAid. I mean, what does it help to give school supplies for people who can't drink or go to the toilet? So I think if we could solve the water problem, it will affect so many other levels. The refugee situation would be affected, the situation with education and equality between men and women.
You mentioned refugees and immigrants. Sweden has taken more than her fair share of refugees in the past few years. and you've had a bit of a kickback from far-right parties and so on. What's the situation as far as you're concerned now about Sweden in terms of your political balance? Because lots of European countries have been rocked by this issue.
Yeah, I'm afraid of this movement of the right-wing parties growing, and I'm also very worried about, like, Hungary and Poland talking about Sweden like we have no-go zones and that this is such a problem in our country. I mean, it would be, who are we? Why are we here? Do we want to contribute, do something for others? And if we help someone who's traumatized, is it possible to help someone and bring someone into the country who's traumatized without problem? What do you expect? Of course there is going to be problems, but we can deal with it. We can give something because we have so much.
Sofia, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank
you so much.
Very nice. Thank you.
Sofia Helin, and you can see the first episode of the latest Bridge on Friday the 11th of May. That's at 9 p.m. on BBC Two.